Today I have 7 questions for you, Brian.
7 questions, I'm ready.
Okay. This is for your marketing mentees. If you were a marketing mentor, what would you say is your favorite marketing tool, vendor, or service?
Favorite marketing tool, vendor, or service?
Right now. Do you have one right now?
You know, I really dig Google Analytics, and so that probably is no surprise for the guy with the lab coat.
It's a good one.
It is easy to provision on almost any site, and it tells me a lot of stuff that I like to know.
That's awesome. I think all incoming marketing, the next generation of marketers, should know a little bit about Google Analytics.
Absolutely.
So do you have a favorite marketing book or business book that you can recommend?
Oh man, there's so many.
There are so many. Is there one that comes to mind?
From a conversion standpoint, I really enjoyed Tim Ash's book. It gets pretty brainy. He's a bit of a brainiac. Tim Ash's book is landing page optimization for a broader marketing approach and a social orientation. Dave Evans' book, Social Media Marketing an Hour a Day. You know, I always have to pick up Krug's book, and I'm going to get the title bent up, but it's making things stick. I'm forgetting the exact title.
I'll find it. I'll put it on my
Krug.
website.
I think it's Steve Krug.
Making things stick? I think Ideas That
Don't
Stick.
Make Me Think is what it is.
Oh, okay. I do know that book. That's a good one.
So that's one that I reference frequently.
And that's from a web perspective, right? When
it
it's
is from a web
talking
perspective.
about
I mean, it's more user interface.
user experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then my practice is built on an older book, Brian and Jeffrey Eisenberg, Waiting for Your Cat to Bark.
Oh, that's a great book. That's a classic.
Yes, I think it will be, because that's where the whole persona process is laid out for you.
Yeah, I would recommend that one as well. So, do you have a favorite marketing project or task or a preferred marketing channel, like email over social media? What are some of your favorites?
I am a big fan of email, and I think that, so the things I say about email is, it's the biggest social network on the planet. My 81-year-old grandmother knows how to use email. She can get an email, she can reply, she can create her own. She knows how to friend people by adding them to her contact list. And she can send pictures, she can send the whole 9 yards. She can send links to video. So, and the second thing I say is that email is in its infancy.
Really?
So a lot of people see email as a mature medium, and that social media is going to usurp it. We haven't even figured out how to use email to its best advantage. So, marketers, it is highly measurable. It is well known. In other words, there's not a lot of tools that you need to learn how to do. What you have to do is find the content and the frequency that
to deliver.
wins for you.
Yeah, to deliver an email. Well, you know I'm an email marketer, right? I did email marketing at Dell, and I do a lot of email marketing at SolarWinds. And if there's one thing that I love about e-marketing, it's not going away, right? Email marketing is not going away. There's a big thread going around: is email dead now that social media is here, now that Twitter's here? And no, not yet. Anyway.
For those of us that are listening, for those of us that know, those that are listening, let your competitors go off and spend time on social media. If you get your email plan together, you're going to kick their butt.
Yes. So, do you have a favorite marketing story?
Y otro carro, please.
Marketing story.
Like, one of my favorite stories is that M&M's pulled out of the product sponsorship in E.T. Their competitor, Reese's Pieces, stepped in. Reese's Pieces, famous, right? That is it's kind of a marketing story. Another one of my favorite marketing stories is, this would be a negative one, but still a favorite. When the email I was doing for Dell, 2 numbers got transposed in the email. So the number that most of the healthcare clients were calling ended up to be an adult dating service. That's not so great, but still makes for a great story.
You know, I think my favorite story is kind of the story of Zappos. And I see Zappos as an example of an organization that decided to commit to the internet. And over 10 years, built their revenue up to $1 billion. Recently sold to Amazon. And their commitment to openness, their commitment to transparency, and their ability to try new things. They had a meter on each of their product pages, the priceless product pages, that told you how many returns had been done on the product. And you're like, who would think about that? Let alone be able to get it through an organization to try. Those sorts of things are amazing to me because I've used to work for corporate America, and I have been often frustrated by good ideas that just couldn't get through the people that didn't know.
It's true. So, can you tell the kids how and why you became a marketer? Did you fall into it? Did you study it? Did it find you?
I actually came in through the analytics side. So I was a computer science major. I had more social skills than the average computer science major.
I can see that.
I saw an IBM sales guy when I was co-oping. Blue coat, red tie, expensive. I could do that. So I actually went into sales. And then realized sales was not a good fit, at least distribution kind of sales. So I ended up going back into programming, and I had so many opinions about how the company I worked for should market. When they fired the marketing manager, they hired me.
That's awesome.
And it's probably a commentary on how good a programmer I was at that time, but I was young. And anyways, I started working on plans, and I had to write my own analytics software. This was back in the 90s, way back in the 90s. So I did that. I did that for my own company. I worked for a series of technology companies putting that stuff in place, and got more into the communication, more into the copy, more into the creative, but it's always based on this platform of how you measure it, how you know it's working, and stop doing what doesn't work.
So, last question. Is there a random fact about you that you're willing to share?
Random fact. I used to play the fiddle.
Excellent. Do you still play?
I can,
A little bit?
but I don't practice.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if I were a youngin' that was just getting into marketing, how can I follow you?
Go to the conversionscientist.com. Conversion Scientist, the guy that wears the coat. That's where everything starts.
That sounds awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.